Hey everybody, thanks for joining in. You're tuned into Sector 7 Racing's GR Cup. I'm joined by Hovercraft.
Hello,
Hey Hover.
everybody.
Hey there. For our fifth doubleheader round of racing at, wait for it, Lago Maggiore. And you know what? I forgot to say who I am. I'm Tati, aka E Dirty Tati. And I have been your host for the last 4 rounds of racing. Now it's round 5. So tonight, drivers will be elbows out as the sprint race takes place on the tight center layout of Lago Maggiore, a quick 7-turn sprint circuit that's sure to keep the stewards on their toes. The feature race takes place on the full 3.6 mile, 5.8 kilometer circuit, where 17 turns and near as many elevation changes should challenge even the most skilled racers. Last weekend's races will be incredibly tough to top. The weather at the Green Hell brought intrigue and changes to the standings, and we'll go over those tonight in a moment. First, let's take a look at the schedule. Let's see what's left on the calendar here. Again, this is round 5. We're in Italy. It's the Grand Prix of Italy at Maggiore, and we have after this, we're almost at the halfway point. We'll have 7 more rounds. Hover, we're already here. Round 5 came quick.
It did. It's been a few good months of racing so far, and yeah, almost at the halfway point. And hopefully, the second season will bring us as many twists and turns as the first half has. Right, Toddy?
So far, absolutely. Like I said, there's been a lot of movement in the standings. Let's tell folks about the series format, those who are new to joining us.
Yep, of course. As you see on the screen right now, these are all the rules. Just a quick, quick rundown. Boost is none, slipstream is real, damage is light, grip reduction is real. More importantly, for the sprint race, it's going to be a grid order determined by a 10-minute qualifying, and then a grid start plus false check to start it. 1 times tire wear, 1 times fuel, 12 liters per second in terms of refuel rate. Everyone starts off the race at 50 liters per second. Tonight in the sprint race, we will be having the Corollas, so we are going to be using the sports tires. And then for the feature race, it's going to be a reverse grid from P1 to P7. The back half of the field will remain the same. On a rolling start, 2 times tire wear, 2 times fuel, 3 liters per second. Everyone starts at 100 liters, and of course, everyone will need to use 2 different types of racing tires.
That's right. So last week we had a couple of new names on the podium, and there are some changes in the standings here. But first, actually, let's talk about the driver lineup. Sorry, I thought we were going to another screen. First, we've got Ryder in first place there. Then we got Wid C, R.A. Shred coming in third. Dezov in fourth. Actually, I don't think these are actually real these are just the drivers. No standings. I keep saying in fourth. That's wrong. So I'm just going to read names. Jeffrey, Ando, The Truth, Rusty Maggots, Corridor 71, Laidler, Stig Xander, Hot Air, MMR Moose, MMR Oak, and KP Wilcox will all be on the track tonight. Now to the standings. Hover.
No worries. After the first round, this is going to be the standings. We have Wiz leading the series so far with 184 points. Ryder in second with 147. Rusty in third, 139. Truth in fourth. Stig in fifth, gaining 2 positions in the overall standings for the last round. Ha'ayer in sixth, gaining 4 positions. 7th is Ando. 8th is Shred. 9th is Jeffrey. 10th is Corridor. And then for the back half, we have 11th in Moose. Jorgenser in 12th, Super S2K in 13th, Oak in 14th, Dezo in 15th, Wilcox in 16th, Higher is in 17th, Later in 18th, Spree in 19th, and Greasy in last in 20th position.
Nice. Super S2K there in 13th, obviously making the biggest jump, 7 positions up, because they got themselves on the podium twice last weekend, or 2 weeks ago rather, which is insane. There are 8 teams in this championship, and as you can see right there, those are the first 4. And those Arsenals, the Truth Demons, S7R Xander Zones, all 3 are those are S7R teams, and then FFR Team Black. Then we've got FFR Team Orange, Shikang Bang, NVR Team Geneva, and NVR Team Redline. So there's also a team championship component here.
Which is the following First place leads S7R Ando's Arsenal with 613 points. In second place is RWB's Chikang Bangs, gaining 2 positions from the last round. NVR Redline holding third, and then behind them is the second S7R team in Truth Demons with 523 points. The 2 FFR teams are back-to-back. Black is ahead of Orange with 519 points. In 7th, we have NVR Geneva in 413 points, and currently in last place in the team's championship, we have S7R Standard Zone with only 378 points.
So as always, we will start with a sprint race. The rules are as follows. For this week's sprint race, the required car is the GR Corolla Street Car. There will be 10 minutes of qualifying. The race distance is only 28 laps. It sounds like a lot, but it's a very short race. Grid order will be fastest first based on those the qualifying settings there, or qualifying results there. It's a grid start plus false check. BOP is on, brake balance tuning is allowed. The required tire is the Sports Soft. Tire and fuel wear usage will be at 1x. The refuel rate will be at 12 liters a second, which is pretty fast. Initial fuel, you get 50 liters in that car. The race will take place in the afternoon with random weather and a time multiplier of 1x. Hover, if you can thank our sponsors, it'd be great.
Of course. Our sponsor for tonight is obviously Trails and Custom Construction. They have been grateful, or they have been very nice of us to sponsor this entire series. So anyone who has any sort of contracting needs or construction needs, please hit them up. Again, thank you once again to Trails and Custom Construction for sponsoring the season.
Thanks, Hover. Appreciate it. So I think I got the message that they're ready to start now, so I don't want to delay them too much. I think like I said, we got a 10-minute qualifying around here. I'm getting a view of the track right now from a driver's point of view, and you can see how small and tight it is. McNaughty, if you don't mind, I don't know if I can type in here for you. Could you let Xander know where? Thank you. That's the start. Here we go.
And qualifying should be currently underway. These drivers are going to be exiting the pit lane, hungry to be starting the laps here. Tali, do you have any sort of any thoughts or any expectations going into the qualifying phase?
Well, I mean, drivers are going to have to give themselves space. There are very few corners, right? Just 7 corners around here, so that's not too bad. But it's kind of tight. So if the driver in front of you messes up, it's pretty bad for you, obviously. Now, slipstream is worth something on the front straight, certainly out here when it's kind of it's full throttle out here. But I don't know if you want to really follow right in somebody's wheel tracks, though.
Well, these cars are a bit heavy, and just giving a quick rundown to the viewers, these are the GR Corollas, all-wheel drive, running the Sports Soft tires. And these cars are, being road cars, they have a lot less aerodynamics than we've been accustomed to this entire series. So yeah, I think you're right. They don't want to really be in the slipstream with the dirty air going through the corners. Of course, the dirty air will affect them a little bit less because they're just less aerodynamically dependent. But that doesn't mean they want to kill all their all their grip that they have already.
Agreed. And like I said, I mean, slip is worth something here for sure. I just don't know that it's worth like risking somebody being in your way. Now, unless you know the driver in front of you is super consistent, super fast, maybe faster than you, which isn't hard to come by in this lobby. But I don't know. It's just me. Hot air with a half-second penalty already. Luckily, just lap 2, so we'll just count that as their kind of first tire warming lap there. Oh wait, they're still gonna have to serve that penalty on lap 3, so actually that's not great for them. Sorry, hot air. Sucks there, but don't overheat those tires. Nice livery on that too. Have you ever driven one of these in real life?
In real life, no, I don't have the money for one of these bad boys. But what I've been noticing is some of these drivers are having a bit more of a tough time with the rear end going into the hard braking zone, specifically turn 1 and the final corner. You're seeing some of these guys really sliding the rear end and just trying to get it under control on the exit. That's what I've been noticing.
Yeah, I noticed that as well with hot air. They're actually into turn one, just trying to get around. I haven't driven it in this game, but I mean, I'm guessing that it's probably tuned and maybe even exaggeratingly tuned, like a lot of modern hot hatches where they have like a super stiff sway bar in the rear to try and induce some oversteer. But if you don't really know how to use it, or if it's coming in at the wrong time, then it's not that helpful. Luckily, I mean, it's all-wheel drive, easy to catch, right? Like, she starts to turn too much, get on the throttle, then start to go straight again. It's pretty easy, I think. So if you can use that oversteer, then great. But I think a lot of the key to being fast around here is getting on that gas as fast as possible, and it certainly helps to be facing the right direction in the first place.
Absolutely. That's exactly how you want to drive really any all-wheel drive car, to be honest. Just, the second you start to feel a spin or, coming around, smash on the throttle and the all-wheel drive system will hopefully catch you out.
Yeah, I think Rusty just gave us a really beautiful example of exactly how to use that oversteer. That was such a good drift in the turn one right there. Just perfect. I love racing street cars on street tires because like they move around a lot and they're kind of meant to, right? Honestly, I find like a lot of lobbies will run street cars, but they're on racing softs and it just makes the car undrivable. It's just way too much grip. You hit the brakes, and that soft suspension acts like a slinky and just tosses the car in whatever direction it feels. Street tires. I'm glad to see that this race is on street tires. I probably would have preferred sports hards personally, but I'm a weirdo.
Well, sports cars might cause a few more crashes than we would like, but it's not a bad idea. And you are right. The sports tires do, offer a lot less grip than the racing tires. That's pretty much expected. But they also have, a feeling of overall more weight to them, or how do I say it? More body weight is moving around and shifting around with the sports tires compared to the racing tires. It's a weird feeling to explain, but yeah, you just feel like you have more roll while you're on the sports tires.
I feel like I have more roll on the racing tires, which
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
just kind of makes sense, right? Just more grip, really soft suspension. It just moves with it. But you know what? We haven't talked about the performance on track so far, and we're like more than halfway through. Right now, we've got Wid with the fastest lap, no surprise there, with a 50.148. Just behind him, though, is Hot Air with a 50.194. Like, it's really not that big a difference between the two of them. That's the unfortunate thing about this track. Or not unfortunate, it is fortunate, but it's hard to find, like, the extra, the whatever it is that you need around here to get over on somebody, honestly. Qualifying tends to be very close around here, and as you can see, yeah, the top five separated by not even a second yet, not even a full 0.3 of a second, quite frankly. When do we even see a half-second difference? Not even into 11th place. 12th place, we've got a 50.6 for Jeffrey. That is just past half a second behind Wid's fastest time. I mean, that's how tight we're talking here as far as qualifying around this track. It's just not that much. Just a few corners, and not all of them are braking corners, right? So like, as long as you are relatively decent in the braking zones in the turn one and then this last turn here, you're on par, you're on pace. This is still anybody's race, whether they started in 13th or in first, quite frankly.
Absolutely. As we say that, I was looking at Wid, I thought he was going to get a new lap, but Rusty did get into second. As I say that, now he's in third. Shred is in first with the fastest lap.
Nice job, Shred. Shred slams it into the wall in turn one there. I don't know if that was on purpose or like in celebration, or if they did that on accident. I think it's a little too soon to celebrate. Still got several minutes to go, and sure enough, he's gonna let other people get back on track and uh, keep going. I think that must have been an accident there. But hey, do what you got to do to get that fastest lap. Maybe it means maybe it means forgetting where to brake for turn one. I don't know. But by a
Well,
full tenth at that, by the way, that's the 49.9. It's the first 49 that we've seen, and that's a huge, huge gap there.
that is an incredibly fast lap with only really four effective corners: turn one, turn two, turn three, and then the final corner. But only, four corners to find almost 2/10. That's very impressive, and kudos to Shred for being able to pull out that lap in a very competitive field.
Yeah, that was incredible. So far, not too much more movement behind him. Wid, of course, sits in second. After that, Rusty had been in second and now sits in third above Hot Air. I don't feel like a higher place was all the way up here. And ooh, yikes, that's not how you do that. Uh, he's gonna have to let Hot Air pass by there. Oh, it kind of messes him up though. Into the last turn, I can see how that happened. Hot Air maybe not knowing where a higher place was gonna go, and that kind of ruined that lap for him. I think we were starting to see these tires get a little bit hot on these drivers here. I mean, there are street tires; it takes longer, but it does happen. Maybe maybe a quick cool down lap or a couple cool down laps, and then one last hard run to the finish line might elicit some changes.
I think so. I think the tire temperatures are going to play a factor in getting these last final spots. As I say that, we're in the final minute, so we're going to be seeing these last few laps. If you're not on the final lap right now, you're going to start the final lap right now. So we're going to see what it does for the qualifying positioning at the beginning.
Yep. And again, the whole field separated by less than a second so far. Dark Azrael being 7/10 behind Shred in first place. And really, Shred's anomaly of a lap is what made the spread so big. It really wasn't even that big until Shred dropped almost 2/10 on us. So I'm very excited about this race. 28 laps around here. Do you have any predictions?
Well, with Shred's, massive almost 2/10 over P2 on a very short track, I have high hopes that he'll see it to the end. But I think besides that, I think we're gonna see Wid and Ha'ayer taking the podium for the sprint. How about
Got
yourself?
it. Shred with hot air. I could see that. Rusty can be pretty scrappy. So maybe don't count him out. I think you're gonna need to be scrappy. I mean, this race may not stay as close as I think it will be, but I get the feeling that it will. And while there are not that many passing opportunities, I think we're gonna see a lot of side by side action in the corners and a lot of paint swapping.
Oh, absolutely. I think obviously, hopefully all on accident, but I think this is going to be a very tight and narrow track, and with very few corners to outmaneuver somebody. I think it's all going to be about taking as much space as you can, and if that means hitting somebody a little bit, well, that's unfortunately an end. Ends to or a means to an end. I cannot speak
Yeah.
today.
Uh, with streetcars, I think I'm personally a lot more forgiving, and maybe this is why no one should ever have me steward street races. But like, I always feel like I'm okay with a little leaning in streetcars. So like leaning on someone into turn three to get that corner done. As long as you don't put them into the wall on the outside, it kind of is what it is. Like, hey, you might end up out on the bad part of the corner there because, you know, Hot Air was carrying as much speed as possible in the turn two, just trying to maximize that turn or get on the throttle as quick as possible. I think we're gonna see some of that. I don't think we're gonna see like hitting though. Let's talk
Of
about the
course not.
results here. Yes, yes, yes. So Shred, of course, came in first with that 49.9. Nobody was able to even get close to him after that. Wid in second place with a 50.148. Rusty Maggots will be in third place. Hot Air in fourth. Ando in fifth place. And S7R, the Truth Serum, will be in sixth. A higher place takes seventh. And Alecos, how do we say that? Alicos in 8th place. Hover, do you want to read the last half there?
Of course, starting in ninth, we have Ryder with a 50.3, Corridor with a 50.331, Jeffrey in 11th, Stig is in 12th, and Azrael is in 3rd with a 50.6.
Absolutely. Hello to everyone in the chat, by the way. Thank you guys for joining. So we're just gonna wait. We usually get a couple of minutes between the qualifying and the actual start of the race before it's go.
Yep.
Some interesting chats going on there, but you guys can't see that. Hover, I think there needs to be like a contingency to like let us join these races sometimes, like on controller, just to make it fair. To make it fair. Just have
I
us in
think that's
there.
a wonderful idea. As I say that, I think the race is about to start.
Yes, we are about to start. Let's make sure that we can see everything. Yeah, the lights are going off now. This is a grid start with a false start check. Look at this camera angle. I love this right here. The launch should be easy for everyone. All-wheel drive street car on fairly sticky tires. I think that's going to work out. What is turn one going to look like here, though, between Shred and Wid? Will Shred or would Wood make a move? Will Shred shut the
Oh.
door? He'd be smart to shut the door, and he does absolutely get all the way, use the entirety of turn one there. Behind them, everyone seems to get through safely so far. Let's see what turn three looks like. Yeah, a little bit of touching, a little bit of elbow rubbing between the truth and a higher place for 5th place, but everyone's off what I would consider cleanly, though a little bit of overlap between cars, but they're starting to all line up. Ooh, what is happening in the back there? And what's it going to look like in the braking for the last corner? 3 wide into the last turn. Do we see anybody? Oh my gosh, I don't know why that's funny. It's just hilarious. They're just small cars. But again, professional drivers, everyone looking good. The last 3 still 3 wide into turn 1. Not quite. Nope. They are getting together now. Stig looking to get out of last place, out of 13th over Dark and Azrael. What's he going to be able to do? Darkin with the inside into turn 2 and 3 should be okay. He's going to push Stig out a little bit wide, not just defending, nothing malicious there. Looking good between the two of them. Looking very racy. Up front, Shred continues to lead this race with Wid, with Rusty chasing him. He hasn't lost them, but he didn't lose his position either. And honestly, shoot, Hover, that's half the battle around here. If you can hold your
Absolutely.
position, yeah, it's not a bad track to have to defend at. Though there are some places where drivers can get you. There are some gotcha areas. You got to be on your toes around here.
Yep, Shred was able to completely cover off Wade going to turn one. A little bit of late braking, making sure that he stayed ahead for turn two. Just a little bit of a note: Ayer drops from I think P4 down to P7, but he was able to remake the move on Truth. Currently sitting in P6, and yeah, it's been some little bit of door bang. Overall, pretty okay, and we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, not bad. Like we said, a couple of moments between drivers, but everyone was very respectful. It looked like in the first couple of laps here, we're working lap 3, about to be into lap 4, and everyone's still incredibly close. And that is a move right there for Jeffrey, deep on the brakes into the last turn to get ahead of Corridor. I think was that a pass completed? It's hard to tell what position he was in when I started to notice it happening. So either way, he survived it. We're looking good, but back to back, bumper to bumper for everyone still, even 4 laps into this thing. And I hope it stays this way for the entirety of the race. Give us more little Toyota Skittles bumping into each other and racing around this track. Ooh, a little bit of grass cutting for the stick there. Good thing we got all-wheel drive and tread today. Actually, Hover, I think the grass is part of the track around here in some corners.
Well, the drivers definitely treat it as such. As I say that, Shred actually on the exit of turn 3 went on the grass a little bit. Wood is closer and closer, but with so little slipstream to be able to be provided from the cars ahead, making a move is kind of going to be difficult unless you really send one late into the corner.
It is absolutely, and it's hard to no car here has the advantage over the another one, right? Like, our braking performance is all the same on all of these cars, and so it's really gonna come down to driver bravery and, of course, maybe, well, which driver has kept it out of the grass the most recently? Because, of course, dirty tires could also be an issue, but I think in cars like these, with treaded tires, you can be in the grass quite a bit, before, within limits. Obviously, there's a point where track limits comes into play, but I think you can actually use the grass on like corner exits like this one, and maybe even in turn 1 and 2, and not lose too much there. We starting to run away from Rusty, do you think?
A little bit. That gap is growing almost 9 tenths between second and Rusty. Over a second for Ando and Rusty. But yeah, there's a little bit of gap growing there. It closes and opens throughout the corners, but yeah, roughly staying around a second. But Wade is still staying on Shred's tail. I don't know if he'll be able to overtake him. Shred has a mighty pace right now, but one wrong tire on a patch of grass, and Wade easily takes first.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see Wid literally using every last bit of the track, trying to maximize all of his corner entries and exits. But Shred is still getting away from him in some of these corners, while not being quite uh, as exploitative. And I don't say that in a bad way. I don't mean exploitative like he's cheating or anything like that. I just mean, making use of what's there. Um, so yeah, Shred's pace is kind of ridiculous in this thing. Like, how much practice have you had, my guy?
Well, some of these drivers are just naturally really good with how you're supposed to drive this Corolla. As we were mentioning in qualifying, these guys are sliding the rears quite a lot going into turn 1 to turn 2, and whichever driver feels the most comfortable in controlling the car in those conditions are naturally going to have a huge advantage. You want to brake late, rotate that car as quickly as humanly possible, letting the car rotate itself, and then just slamming on the throttle.
Just slam on it. Literally that. Like, you really don't need to drive it all that gently. It's one of the great things about cars like this. Street cars are so much fun, and yet such a like they're just kind of foreign to drive when you spend so much time in GR3s and GR2s and all the really like grippy aero driven cars, and then you get into a lobby with like something from the 1970s on comfort softs, and it's almost like a whole different game. It's so much fun.
It is.
I missed it. Friends, are you guys listening? Are my friends in the group? Are you guys on the chat? Because I miss it. Where are our street lobbies? Bring them back. Bring them back. I will not complain about comfort softs ever again. Ever again.
We will start the street cars movement in GT7.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
Absolutely. I mean, even in the back of the field with Corridor, Stig, Azriel, and Alosis, they're still tight to tight, bumper to bumper, right? Any single opening that any of these guys will take, as I say that, Stig almost makes a move on Azriel, but, everyone here throughout this entire grid is still fairly, bumper to bumper. Only Rusty, Ando, and Higher really have any sort of comfortable gap. As I say that, Truth in 7th, less than a tenth and a half. He doesn't really want to make a move going into the final corner, but almost makes contact with another, allows Truth to get side by side out of the final corner, but Jair gets the exit speed, won't be able to make any move here.
No, he won't be able to, but he's obviously showing the nose, being a little bit aggressive, showing that he wants to get past. And I was going to say we are starting to see some gaps form, but you already called it there. This looks like our only real active battle, and I think that's more about Truth moving around than anything, because Wit is still all over the back of Shred there. I can't seem to... Well, that doesn't matter. Just technical issues. Regardless, this race is starting to shape up, starting to kind of mature, it looks like. Like we said, a couple of gaps forming. Some drivers still going at it together. In fact, right there in the background, I think that was Dark and Azrael having to go defensive against
Wait, Tony, we're going to first place, sorry.
Nope. I'm here. Battle for
I'm sorry
first.
to.
Oh,
Oh wait.
Shred ruins himself in turn one. However, able to get back on track in just the right position there to continue to stay in first place ahead of Wid. Wid unable to capitalize on that. That sucks to see that. Honestly, that really should have been a change of position there, but very lucky for Shred. But it sounds like Wid's putting the pressure on because what a mistake. That was huge.
Absolutely. Sorry for cutting you off, Toddy, but I saw Wid really trying to get onto the inside of turn one. We see him trying to get a little bit stuck onto Shred's rear bumper, but he wasn't able to make any move, and Shred, like you said, was able to keep his mistake from affecting his first place.
That's okay. I was gonna say it's starting to bring Rusty a little bit closer to them, but then Rusty had a moment in the turn into the last turn there, and unfortunately, will not be any closer. If anything, he looks to be a little bit further away. I think. I can't be. You know, it's not tire wear, right? Like the tires are just fine. We can see on the screen here that there's barely any wear like on the fronts, but maybe a little bit of extra heat, maybe a little bit of a little too much confidence, right? Like you go around a track a bunch of times and you start to wonder, okay, well, can I push this or that in the corner? Can I brake here? Um, and you quickly learn, no, you can't. Now's probably not the time to experiment. But you know, these drivers are trying to do anything that they can do.
Absolutely. As we say that on the start of lap 13, Wid gets the fastest lap of the race so far with a 50.1, a little bit better than his own qualifying lap, but that could mostly be due to slipstream. Still right behind Shred, but he just struggles out of turn 3, not able to follow Shred due to the lack of clean air. Goes a little bit wide, but he may be able to get a run here with the slipstream, less than almost 2 tenths. What does he
It's a
do?
great run. He is going to get a great run here, but it's just not enough slipstream, I don't think. And if Shred goes defensive, which it looks like he kind of did for a second there, there's nothing Wid can do because he's never going to pick up enough speed that he can surprise Shred and take the inside quickly or anything like that, right? Like even if slip helps him, he's just kind of barely going to like sidle up to like maybe his back wheel, if that. It's going to have to be on the braking. He's going to have to be brave, and maybe this is it right here. Nope, he just shows the nose, tucks it back in there. But it's gonna have to be. I hate to call it a dive, but like it feels like it's gonna take a dive. You know, I don't know what to say. Wid, be
Yeah,
good.
I mean, hopefully, no contact and obviously no crashing. But yeah, sometimes it gets to the point where the only way you can really make a move is just by, making the other guy scared, making the other guy flinch. And this
That's
may be
right.
one of those situations, just because of how equal Win and Shred
Oh,
are just on pace. As I say
yes,
that,
and as we say that, Shred with a huge mistake into the last corner there. And as we cross the line, this is the halfway mark of the race. Wid looking like he has a little bit of hope here. Unfortunately, Shred does have a little extra acceleration out of that corner somehow. I thought Wid was going to be able to stay alongside him, but he's not. And Shred, once again, escapes with his life, just barely. I think once Wid gets in front of him, there may not be a chance for Shred there, and he realizes that, but he's got a whole other half of this race to try to keep this up, and it's starting to fall apart for him. We've seen two big mistakes in the last 3 or 4 laps from him. I think all Wid has to do is stay right there, stay with him, stay in the mirrors, and keep an eye on him, and stay consistent himself. Obviously, he can't make any mistakes either.
absolutely. The first person to blink is going to be losing here. But just a little bit of a quick update. Ha'ayer makes the move from higher place a few laps ago, now in 5th, trying to recover all the positions he lost at the start. There's a little bit of a train between Higher Truth and Ryder, all within a second, going from 6th to 8th. I'm looking at them. They're being a little bit scrappy right now, but I think we're gonna see 1 or 2 moves from one of them.
Got it. If it gets real hot, let me know and I'll switch over to them. Obviously, I'm trying to stay with this battle for first because it has been so hot. And it is for the #1 spot on the podium. But we definitely want to give the other drivers their shine if it's due. Looking at the map in the upper right hand corner, I can definitely see that mid pack is all bunched up there. And some of the straights, I'm seeing like a couple of triangles like straight up overlapped, and that must be Ryder and the Truth. actually. So
We
like,
go, we go to 8th place with Ryder and Truth actually right now going side by side into turn 1.
there they go. Ryder with the inside. The Truth can try to get a cutback here if Ryder doesn't get his braking right. Not quite there for him. He's going to try to out accelerate him. Sometimes you can just get out of turn 2 enough to get your nose in there for turn 3. Doesn't happen for him though. Ryder right on the gas when he needs to be. And the Truth is going to have to try again in another corner, it looks like. But yeah, that was pretty close right there. Oh gosh, racing here is so fun. It's so challenging, and it can be such a. It almost feels like a slog, but like so satisfying when you're able to make
We
that
go back
pass
to
happen.
first. Sorry, Shred made a mistake. He's going into turn 1. Wade gets the inside. Oh, he doesn't make the move. Shred drifts around the outside. Keeps the inside line for turn 2. That was that was incredible by Shred. Completely sliding around turn 1, avoiding Wade's front nose.
Wow, yeah, Shred is that he's done that a couple of times now. He just knows how to drift that car into a corner and get on the gas and get out of it. Like he can just take that nose and put it wherever he wants to. It looks like in order to defend a corner or do whatever he needs to do with this car. He's really putting on a masterclass on how to recover in this car. I mean, how to drive it for sure as well. No shade at all, but he's also showing us how to recover when a mistake is made, and Wid just hasn't been able to do anything about it, bro.
Absolutely.
Nothing.
I
Let
mean,
me go check back on. Go ahead.
that's just how, Shred is able to keep it front, right? Just able to position his car, not let Wid get the preferential line. Because as much as this, is deceptively wide, but there's only really one line you want to take around here.
Yes, it's a very wide track, and it makes you feel like, oh, I can do this or that, or there's not a lot of. It's pretty slow off of the main racing line. Unfortunately, there. Ooh. Oh, I think Wid's alongside. Is he? Give us a better camera angle. Show me something. He is not quite alongside. Maybe he was in the corner there, but again, Shred just on the gas a little bit quicker. What can Wid do here? I will say that there are 2 lines into turn 1. You don't have to keep it tight or wide. Honestly, you can figure it out no matter how you do it. I think that might be the only spot where you have options if you're going to make a move with someone that just really is matching you on pace. But Shred is incredible at turn 1, and so it's not helping Wid that he can take multiple lines there, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see that all of Wood's attempts comes from Shred struggling in the final corner. Wood seems to have it down pat, and it gives him a few tries going to turn 1, but Shred is just so much more, superior going into turn 1 that, no matter how good of a run Wood gets, he's always able to defend.
Yeah, he's just got it. He's just got it. And if he can keep it together in that last corner, I don't think Wid really has anything that he can do with him. There's nothing. I want to check on this situation here. Ryder looks like he's more going against a higher place than the Truth, but a higher place has a half-second penalty, so he's going to lose a position here to Ryder. Maybe even Truth will come back and check them out. I'm not going to stay here to watch somebody take a penalty when the fight for the position 1 looks like this. Shred into the last corner there. Actually handles that nice and neatly. Maybe a little bit slow. No, it didn't seem slow actually. It looked pretty conservative, but I guess that's just because he did it the right way for once, right? Wade still owns the fastest lap, being behind him with that 50.112, but Shred just dropped his own PR, personal best rather, PB, with a 50.160. So Wid is going faster behind him. Some of that may be slipstream, but I think if that coupled with just sheer consistency, the last thing Shred wants is for Wid to get in front of him. And right now it looks like he's built a little bit of a gap, almost half a second there between them.
Yep, Shred was able to recover some of his pace and, able to get that gap a little bit higher. Just a little bit of a note, higher, lose loses the one position to Ryder due to the penalty. He almost fought it back, but wasn't able to recover it. And yeah, still Shred is still ahead. Ryder's making his way up to P6, now behind Javier, but almost 2 seconds separate them.
Shred just dropped the fastest lap, and then immediately Wid answered behind him with a 50.063. Both of them with 50 flats back to back there. That was incredible. As you were talking, oh, Wid is out wide in 3, and that's gonna lose him some time for sure. There again, you can use the grass, but to a limit. Actually, it gives him the fastest first sector. So, let me shut my mouth and see how the rest of this lap goes for him here, because that might actually have at least given him a boost in that. Not a position though. Shred still decisively up front, and only has a few more laps that he has to do this for. Just 5 more laps, and he's done. Wid does not improve on his fastest lap. What happened?
I was gonna say, just the chances are running out for every one of these drivers, right? Even the ones a little bit further back that are really close bumper to bumper. We only have a few laps in this race, but these cars are going a little bit faster thanks to the fuel tanks running down. Everyone is running around 25% fuel right now, but yeah, cars are going faster, but everyone's cars is going faster, and the laps are counting down.
Yes, they are. Let's see what's going on with Ryder. Ryder's absolutely running away from the truth. 1.4 seconds. Now the truth actually in trouble and under attack from a higher place. There's Jeffrey Alicos in the background. Jeffrey with a deep dive into the last corner for 7th place, and he's going to take that. Here comes Alicos into 7th himself. Holy... I can't say that on this stream, but Alicos and Jeffrey both jumping at least 2 drivers right there in that last turn. Do we have a replay? We might have to save it. There's so much going on. We have a replay when we want it. I don't dare go to it now, though. Here's a higher desperate to keep at least 10th place, because he just watched himself lose 3 spots in one corner there. What? Who knew everyone was fighting for second to not last? 3rd, 4th, and 5th to not last, actually. What's going on up front with Shred and Wid still at it. These two in their own race. They are so far ahead of Rusty Maggots. 4.7 seconds ahead of Rusty, to be exact. Rusty and Ando running back to back there as teammates. But hold on. We got to go back to the wild times. I'm sorry, first place battle, but give me a second. Let me see what's going on with 7th in them. Jeffrey into 8th. Yes, because Alicos took 7th place there. It looks like this has kind of settled down just a little bit here. We'll keep an eye on them, because that was some wildness right there. Ryder looking like, can't relate. I'm in 6th now. I'm chasing Hot Air. 2.5 laps to go.
Just a little bit of a note up front. Shred still ahead, 4/10 above, almost 5/10. But the more interesting thing is Rusty getting slowly caught up by Ando. The gap is around 6 to 7/10. Not enough, I think, to make any moves, but very interesting to see that gap slowly melt away.
Definitely not quite within striking distance, but he's got some time to make it happen, and one mistake and it can. So a lot of positions to play here, actually, and so surprisingly some positions to play by 3 or 4 drivers at once. I'm going to come back to our 1st and 2nd place drivers here, though, as we start our last lap in just a moment. And Wid alongside on the outside of Shred into the final corner. Shred with great track position there, and of course he is going to make sure to shut that door and not let Wid have him around the outside. But an opportunity there for Wid to try and throw Shred off his line, maybe mess up that acceleration he's been getting out of the last turn. And Wid very, very aggressive into turn 1, into the last corners, doing everything he can to try to throw Shred off his game, throw him off his line. We've seen Shred make mistakes with pressure, but this is the last one. Only one more opportunity for a pass really here into the last turn. What can Wid do?
He's gonna have to just send it down the inside. Absolute hope and prayers, but this is the only way he can make this move. Get win.
He tries to psych Shred out. Shred will go defensive. Wid, what can you do? Get on that gas as quick as possible there. I don't think think there's enough track left. I think he's gonna have to settle for second place. Shred, wow, makes that the widest little GR Corolla that ever GR Corolla. And he's going to take second place here, or first place. Rusty into third with Ando in fourth. Behind them, Hot Ayer will lead Ryder fifth and sixth. This battle for seventh is Alikos, Jeffrey, then the Truth. Higher place will take 10th place. We'll have to settle for that. And Dark and Azrael in 11th. We'll have Stig in 12th and Corridor 71 crosses the line in 13th place. What a race. Not a lot of passing. Not a lot of passing, but a lot of battling for sure, and a lot of close racing. I thought it would be pretty elbows out and pretty extreme. Wow. Jeffrey and Alikos for pass of the race, though. Let's talk about that. That was crazy.
That was insane. Tally, do you want me to run down the grid a little bit?
Yes, please.
Of course. In first place, taking the overall win, defending his heart out, is Shred, with behind only a little bit over a 10th across the line in second. Rusty in third. Ando in fourth, melting the gap a little bit, but not enough. Hot Ayer recovers up to fifth from losing so many positions at the beginning. Ryder up to sixth. Alikos, with a wonderful opportunity and a wonderful execution, makes his way up to seventh. Jeffrey in eighth. And Truth and Higher goes down a little bit. Truth in ninth, Higher in 10th. Dark and Azriel in 11th. Dig in 12th, and finally and last is Corridor.
Wow, and yeah, Corridor only 20 seconds behind the leaders, so not even half a lap behind the leaders there. What a fun, tight little track that is. We're
Maggiore.
Maggiore Center. Now we have the feature race on Maggiore Full, which I mean, I love that track, and I know that people kind of stay away from it nowadays. It feels like old news, but it is one of the OG original tracks, new original tracks that came to us with GT Sport, and it has a soft place in my heart.
It's one of the better tracks, and I don't know how it's seen overall. I feel like it's a very it's seen as a solid track, but as you said, it was here since the sport days, and because of that, it's lost some of its shine. But it's never changed. It's always been a very good track, especially with the new additions of some of the layouts going into Gran Turismo 7. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this race. I'm excited to see what everyone can do. Not higher. I'm sorry. I just want to point out in Shred going onto the final lap, right? The second to last lap. I really want to note, Wid and Shred were side by side. Wid on the outside, Shred on the inside. And I want to just point out how aware Shred was with Wid's positioning, because Wid was actually trying to do a cutback, almost an undercut, not necessarily, but just trying to get a late apex to get more exit speed to get him a better shot going into turn one. But
yeah,
Shred was able to read him and was able to completely block off the apex and just completely denied Wid of the exit speed advantage that he got. And I just wanted to point out that was very good defending and very good awareness from Freda, completely denying any sort of chance Wid had into turn one.
Absolutely, it was beautiful defense. Quite frankly, I think probably should have saved that replay, honestly, so we can go back and watch and learn a couple of things. So these two will be fighting their way towards the front in the next race, of course, because the feature rules will start with the grid in a different order than expected. Can you read that out for us, Hover, the feature rules?
Of course, this is going to be in the Group 3 cars, the ones every driver has selected at the beginning of the series. It's going to be 24 laps around here. The grid positioning is going to be P1 for P7, or blah. First to seventh in the sprint race is going to get flipped. So currently our pole position would be Alikos. But everyone past that will stay in their original positions. It's going to be a rolling start. Every car is going to be BOP. Everyone is allowed to change their brake balance and tune their aero. Everyone is required to swap to one other racing content. Tire wear and fuel is at 2, 3 refuel rate. Initial fuel is at 100 liters. It's going to be in the evening with random weather, but the time multiplier is going to be at 1.
That's right. Thank you so much for that. I love that it's any 2 compounds around here. I mean, this track, I've spent so much time on this track, but I can't remember if it's a tire killer or not. I don't know. Yeah. It's got some gnarly right-handers for sure.
It's average. That's what I'll say. It's not one of the worst ones. It's not like Interlagos, but it's certainly not a tire saver like whatchamacallit with some other tracks like Sardinia or Monza, right? It's gonna choose some tires, but it's not gonna be as bad as last round.
That's true. That's true. You've got some pretty long straight sections, which definitely tire saver, and then but you've got enough corners, and the corners that are there are some of them rather are fast enough that they really do harm the tires. I expect to see the left hand side of the tires just being absolutely shredded.
Yep. I think that's what we're gonna see, especially with it being a clockwise track. The left-hand tire, left front, will be the one that takes the most brunt.
What do you call that corner at the end of the the back straight there?
I call it the Banky Boy.
The big banky boy. Yeah.
Yeah, the Banky
I couldn't
Boy.
remember
Just with
that
how
name.
well, I don't know if I have an official name. I know some fictional tracks the developers like giving names to, but yeah, I just call it Banky Boy.
Got it. Well, I have heard Big Banky Boy since forever, right? Since Sport for sure. But I think somebody had once just called it the best corner in the world, and it kind of stuck with me, and that's all that ever comes up in my mind when I see it. It is an incredibly fun corner, and those of you watching, you will see it. Well, you'll see it when we get to it, and you'll know which corner we're talking about. It's like a roller coaster ride. It's a great corner for passing. And it's just fun, quite frankly. So to me, best corner in the world kind of fits.
That's fair. I actually am kind of slow in that corner. As I say that, our race is about to begin. Are you ready, Toddy?
I am ready. I am on there. I am looking at the we're doing a rolling start this time around, so no standing start, but the start will be gentle, but turn 1 will be the same. It'll be the same exact turn 1 as was in the center layout, and so there's a degree of difficulty there of getting through it neatly, and hopefully these drivers all figure it out. Different size of car, different speed of car as well, and they're off now. Alikos leads riders, leads hot air and end turn 1. Alikos gets through there pretty okay. No threat from Ryder, anyone behind. Rusty already sort of under attack by Wid into turn 3 there. Wid looking, of course, to make his way through the order very quickly. Where's Shred? Shred in 8th behind Jeffrey. So Shred lost position there because Shred should be just behind Wid. So Jeffrey ends up in the 7th to start this race already. Now, Jeffrey was on the podium last week in the sprint race. Jeffrey showed some real pace and showed some real pace in the last race as well. So I definitely keep an eye out for him here, having already gained himself a position. Behind them, the second half of the, or less than half, but the back end of the grid, we got a higher place. You got the Truth, you got Dark and Azriel almost side by side with Stig and Corridor into the S's. Don't really want that. That's kind of slow, but that's our grid, and it looks like we made it through the first half of the lap there very neatly. Look at this gap already. 8
Yep,
tenths.
Yep, 8/10, mostly due to Alico starting on the soft tires in front of Ryder, but Ryder's doing his best to keep him honest at least, and he's doing a pretty good job. Ryder has a very good chance at scoring good points here. He's a fast driver, we all know that. But starting in second is giving him such a great advantage, and I hope he's able to execute it.
I hope so as well. He is a pretty quick driver. He's been on the podium already in the championship here. Last weekend just wasn't the best for him. I don't even think he finished the feature race. I think it was maybe, but hopefully a chance to redeem himself here. There are 3 drop rounds, so little rain at the Nürburgring shouldn't hurt his championship too badly, and he's in a good space here for this feature race.
Absolutely. As I say that, P7 and Shred is all bunched behind Wid in 6th and Rusty in 5th. They had a little bit of a squabble going to turn 1 and turn 2, allowing Ando at the front of this little pack to get away. But I think we're going to see some of these guys get very, very antsy and just want to start moving up front.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Shred and Wid finished in 1st and 2nd place, respectively, in the last race, and because of the way the grid is set, they started this one in 7th and 8th place, and it looks like, or sorry, 6th and 7th place, and it looks like Shred has already made his way back in front of Jeffrey, who showed himself to be real racy in the first couple of corners, and now they've got to figure out how to work together to get past Rusty, who is kind of bottlenecking them in 5th place here. Ando is in front of them, but I don't think Ando is part of the problem. Shred side by side with Wid into Big Banky Boy, and really almost up to Rusty. He feels like, hey, I can do this better. Move out of the way, let me handle this. But we've got a three-way Aston battle going on in this race. This is a treat, for real. The other British guy on track is way ahead there. That's Hot Air in 3rd place, who also stands to make some good points up this race. He got a 2nd place in the feature last week, so he's quick too, and he wants those points.
Absolutely. I think personally, a little bit of a conversation at the beginning. As I say that, Shred is able to get side by side out of the exit of the final corner on Rusty. I think he'll keep it into turn 1, but I think we'll see Wid, Hot Ayer, and I think Ryder. I think that'll be our podium finishers.
Wid, Hot Ayer, and wow, this situation is almost out of hand, but Wid and Shred do make their way past Rusty, and now to run away, Jeffrey looking to capitalize as well. Is he going to be able to make that happen? He's out in the dirty stuff in this turn. Ooh, he's in a bad position there. Might pick up a penalty because of that, but Rusty not giving it up easily there. Still side by side as they go into turn 5. And Jeffrey hanging it around the outside. He's also refusing to give it up. I think he's going to out-accelerate Rusty out of that corner. Oh my gosh, no, maybe not quite, but he is hanging on, and I think he finally solidifies himself into 7th place there. Meanwhile, Wid, you can see that gap grew more and more the entire time we watched that. He's still right here with Shred. That was incredible back there. Jeffrey denying Rusty the slip down the back straight there. Good strategy, because Rusty's looking pretty scrappy, and Jeffrey doesn't want to fight. He wants to get back up with Shred for sure.
Yep, he thinks he has pace, and I honestly have to agree. I think any time spent defending from Rusty is wasted time that he could be using to possibly get himself in the top 5.
That's right. Wid and Shred going at it very early in this race. We just saw Wid pop his nose out, maybe looking to see if he can make a move into that double right-hander, which, sometimes you can. I feel like it loses too much time. I don't think if you don't have to pass there, it's not really necessary to do so, unless it's a really easy clear pass that's not going to be defended in any way. But I think Wid can maybe show a little bit of patience here. We've got time. We've got 24 laps around this longer layout. which it's a nearly 2-minute lap. It's a pretty long circuit, 3.6 miles. So we're in for a good one here, and a long one. So patience.
Yep, and just looking over my strategy card to the viewers, we're going to be expecting most of these drivers who started on the mediums to pit around lap 13. Alex Hose is the only one that I saw that is currently on softs. He will be expected to pit around lap 10 for the first round of pit stops. So most of these guys are going to be switching over to the mediums around lap 13, and they'll run the final 10, 11, 12 laps on softs.
Yes. Shred driving that Aston like he's on softs though. I mean, he's all over the back of Ando. He's being really, really aggressive. Like he just has to make this pass right now. And maybe he does. Maybe he's got an agenda. He doesn't want Alikos to run away. He doesn't want Alikos' strategy to work out, right? Like Alikos wants to run away with this race, get on the medium and just be able to defend, or be so far away that, by the time anybody on the softs finally catches him, their softs are worn while his medium still have some life in them. Shred and Wid absolutely want to prevent that, and they are bullying the heck out of Ando right now. Ando just I'm fearing for Ando. I would be scared. I mean, this is this is what Ando's seeing behind him. I wish my keyboard was working so I didn't have to do so many camera jumps. But I'm trying to bring you guys the production quality, okay? This is what's going on behind this guy. He just wants to settle into the race. Here come two feral Aston Martins, this is Daniel Craig's James Bond, quite frankly. This is like in a nutshell.
Very interestingly, I want to note, Ando is fighting extremely hard with Shred because Ando and Wid are on the same team. You saw in the final sector that Ando defended against Shred, causing Shred to go extremely wide, allowing Wid to go on the inside, and Wid and Ando switched positions going into turn 1. This was a team effort. Ando tried to slow down Shred as much as possible while giving Wid an opening to go ahead.
That's right. Ando is a very fast driver, but he does recognize, hey, I don't have this kind of pace. This isn't really my fight, not my battle. So staying in it with these two drivers would only mess him up, against drivers that are more his pace, the drivers that he is fighting in his championship or his part of the championship points. But he's still a team player, right? He sees his teammate coming up, knows he's making his way up front. Hey, let me help my teammate out. Let me give him some slipstream where I can, get out of his way where I can, and stay in the other guy's way. And that did allow Wid a little bit of breathing room here. He's got about 8/10 on Shred, whereas before, obviously, he was behind Shred, if anything. So, well done by Ando there.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it opens. Unfortunately, opens himself up to being vulnerable to Jeffrey behind him in 7th. And Rusty, I mean, if Ando and Jeffrey start fighting, Rusty is going to smell blood in the water and try to make up a few positions that he lost at the beginning.
You know what? That's true. And I still think that, like, for Ando, that might be worth it, if only because Jeffrey is somewhat new in this championship. We've seen a bit of brilliance from him, right? We did see a podium position from him, some good racing, but before that, we weren't getting much of a sense of like, okay, how quick is this guy? So for Ando, it's like, listen, maybe I can beat this guy. I don't know, really, haven't raced him that much. Let me do what I got to do and see if I can stay away from him. We're in the same car. I've got a chance.
No, that's a very good point, and I think that's something a lot of these drivers actually take into consideration going into any new championship. Just trying to recognize the names that they've driven against before and just trying to size up the other competition that they have no information on. That's what I do, at least, and, it's better, even if you recognize someone that's faster than you, it's better to be able to recognize their pace than to, having to learn about a new driver's, driving habits,
Yeah, absolutely. I do too much commentating on championships that use different methods to display drivers' names to ever remember who's who half the time. So I'll be like, this is a complete stranger to me. I have no idea who this person is, and the whole time it's somebody that I've been racing with since the GT Sport days. Um, and also, we were allowed to change our PSN names, and that just ruined
Yeah,
everything, didn't it?
one of the
What's
most.
going on? Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to just say the PSN name change was one of the most revolutionary updates to Gran Turismo.
Seriously, oh my gosh, changed the world. Yo, a higher place with an absolute throwback right now. Do you remember there was a time where this Beetle would dominate at this track combo in the daily races? I don't know if it still does. I don't really do daily races, so I just don't even know what that world is like anymore. But there was a time where if you had the Beetle on Lago Maggiore, like basically you had won the race. That would like unless somebody else also had it, like there was no point. This thing was such an excellent car sometimes when the BOP favored it. And it's kind of a weirdo, It's not a real car. It is basically a vision car, right? But they put it in the GR3 category. This is the interior. Look at this thing. This is, what at the time Volkswagen felt like the Dash of the Future race car would look like, maybe. Um,
Possibly.
yeah, but it's like this cute little, just a vacuum cleaner. Listen to this thing. Hold on. It sounds like if you like took a Dyson and maybe gave it, I don't know, a hotter cam. I know it's an electric motor. I'm joking. Please don't come after me in the comments. But
uh,
I mean, it's quick. It's nimble. It wasn't never the fastest in a straight line, but it could defend like no one's business because it could just outbrake you and outcorner you everywhere.
yeah, we literally just saw Hire completely go around the outside and just, immediately rusty on turn 5, I think it was. Yeah,
Yep.
just, no, you're right. This car is oddly set up perfectly for Maggiore, and while it may not have the power and weight as it once had during its dominant days, it definitely has the suspension and aero to, still be a quick beast around here.
Yeah, absolutely. Really fun car to drive, as I recall, as well. Like it was fun, it was easy. And it definitely had some tracks where it could be brilliant. I think it was pretty good at Laguna Seca as well, and probably for the same reasons. Like the tracks are similar, right? Like lots of elevation change, some pretty fast corners, some sweepers. It does well.
No, you're right. And, I just very quickly, I want to just give a little bit of a rundown from the top, mostly because of how important this is currently developing. Ryder is in first, 6 seconds ahead of Lid, which may not sound like much, but, 6 seconds is quite a gap to be able to use and abuse. Wid is also ahead of Alako's, at least I think that's how
What
you pronounce his name.
happened to Alicos?
I think he made a mistake. I think his Audi just ran out of grip at the rear end, and he was just, unfortunately, did a mistake, allowing both Wid and Ryder to get ahead of him. As I say that, Shred just served a penalty for, I believe that was a half a second. Ha
It was.
Ayer, both passed both by Wid and Shred, being chased very, very close behind by Ando and Jeffrey.
Got it. Thank you so much for that rundown. We were waxing poetic about the old Volkswagen.
The whole thing.
Thanks for paying attention there. Rusty looked like he was in trouble by Dark and Azrael before we went on that rundown, and maybe he was, but he seems to be okay now. He's got a little bit of breathing room. The Truth and Corridor have been running together for a long time in this race, and I haven't seen anything change between the two of them. But we'll keep an eye on them. They have been very close this whole time. Stig is in last place by 10.2 seconds, and his mediums are starting to wear out here. Like even the mediums are giving up on folks here in lap 8. Not giving up, but they're not what they were.
Yep, no, I 100% agree with you. Some of these tires are taking way more of a beating than others, and well, I mean, especially Achilles, and I believe Azrael also is on the softs. Both in the Audis, they're running out of grip, and we're gonna see them in the pits very, very soon, I think.
Got it. Got it. Yep. Alikos not looking great here in third when he's supposed to be running away on those soft tires, but he is running out of grip in them. And you're right, even rear are done here. There are a lot of corners around here that being mid-engine is an advantage. You can definitely spin it pretty easily out of some of these corners. But there's only so much you can do when you don't have any rubber back there. There's only so much that weight advantage over the rear wheels can do for you. And so Alikos at this point probably really tiptoeing around the track.
Unfortunately, yeah, especially with kind of the disadvantages mid-engine cars have in aero tuning series. You know, they just gain a lot less from being able to change their tune. So yeah, it's just unfortunate, but that's how the game is programmed. And like I said, we're probably going to expect them to lose a position from shred or come into the pits very soon.
Yeah. Now I know that sometimes physics changes or even slight changes to tracks can update a thing. It's been a couple of years since I've taken a mid-engine car around here, but are the S's still like absolutely treacherous for these things? Have you done it
A little.
lately?
They're still more dangerous than a front engine, obviously, but honestly, as long as you stay on the curbs, it's a lot. You feel a lot more confident nowadays.
Got it.
I know what you're talking about. There was like some weird eras where the mid engines like took a hit in those type of corners, but nowadays you can, at least with fresh tires, you can take them pretty confidently as long as you avoid the grass.
Nice. Yeah, good, good, good. I remember that the right hand one, even if you stayed in the grass, it felt like if you just got on the curb too much, it would just suck you in. I used to hate that hate that curb so much, man. But like we said, I mean, this
Yes.
track's been around forever. We've seen it since 2017 when Sport came out, GT Sport. It was heavily used in the daily races back in those days, and maybe still is. But it was one of the very popular GT3 tracks, and even GR1s, because of how fast it is and how well suited it is to high downforce cars. Who's that with a penalty? That's the Beetle.
Yep, higher or not higher. I'm sorry. Higher place has to go off the racing line really quick and serve this penalty, losing a position to Rusty. Will he lose a position to Azrael too? It looks like he does. He
Right,
gets
yeah, he
through,
does.
and yep, now Hire's at the back of this little train. As I say that, a little bit up front, Ando and Jeffrey are going side by side, going up the hill. Jeffrey pulls out in front on the right hand there. Will Ando try to make a move? He stays behind.
Well, Ando is currently in the find out stage, right? He took a gamble, let himself he took a gamble, slowed Shred down, battled with Shred, even though, his race wasn't really with Shred, but to try and help Wid out there, gambling that maybe he'd be able to keep Jeffrey behind him. And he did for a good while. That was several laps ago, but now Jeffrey up into sixth place, and he looks like he might be free to chase Hot Eye Air, unless Ando's got something to come back on him with. But this
I've
what is happening back there? That is a dive by Dark and Azrael into turn one on Rusty Maggots. And is he going to be able to make something happen here? He's got decent track position, but no, Rusty shuts the door on him there. Maybe a little aggressively because, quite frankly, that turn one route was a little ridiculous. I think it might have been accidental. But Higher with another half-second penalty, he gets his position back. And he takes another half second, and now he will lose even more than just a single position there because of that. But yeah, a moment back there. We were talking
Yep.
about
Oh, he almost
Jeffrey and
loses it.
Ando. Did he almost lose it? I think people are
Yep.
starting to really feel those tires in some of these turns. That turn for sure, turn four there, I think that is. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Turn 5 rather is pretty treacherous on the throttle if you're not careful. A Higher place pulls over again to take his second penalty in a row, and he will be back in the 10th place, still in slipstream, so he still got a chance there. Behind him, we've got the Truth in 11th, Corridor in 12th. They have a bit of separation between the two of them, and the Stig still about 10.5 seconds behind them, so that gap hasn't changed much at all. Stig just running in the back right now. Up front, we have a change. We got Wid up front by 1.7 seconds over Ryder, who sits in second place. Shred out of the battle altogether. We did see Shred take at least one penalty, but he was already not that close to Wid when that happened. He was fighting pretty hard earlier in this race.
Yep,
Alikos,
Ryder. Sorry.
I was going to say Alikos jumping into the pits here, and he's going to take those softs off, like you said, around lap 10, lap 11. Here we are, lap 11. He's going to jump onto the medium tire and basically be on the back foot in just a few laps when the mediums come in for their softs. But for now, he'll have faster mediums, and if he doesn't come out in traffic, which it doesn't look like he will, he can put together some incredibly quick laps and try to make up some time. Ooh. Well, he does come in right behind the Stig. He'll have better tires, but he will have to get past them.
Yep, that's the cost of going on the software compound. Is if you don't maximize the compound, you're gonna really take a hit going into the pits and getting stuck behind a place where you don't necessarily want. I just want to give a little bit of a limelight to Ryder. Looking at his time on lap 11, he definitely made a mistake. You can tell from a 2-minute 2 lap time, with most of his laps being in the 156, he must have ran off the track somewhere, allowing Wid to get that position.
Yep, huge mistake there. Whatever it was, it lost him quite a bit of time. But he still maintains second place, and he maintains it by several seconds. He showed some real pace, and hopefully it's just, one mistake. It happens. If he keeps them rare, he should be okay. This track is not forgiving to mistakes because it is so fast. If you're going slow, I promise you, everyone else around you is going really fast in most places on this track. And that's why that half-second penalty hurt so bad there, where we saw, not Alikos, but we saw a higher place lose 2 positions after taking a half-second penalty. It's because everyone else around you is doing, over 150, almost 170 back there.
Could we go to Ando in 5th? He's going side by side with Ha'ayer. Will Ha'ayer brake late? He does. He has to go around the outside. He takes the inside for turn 2. Ando's not able to take the position away. Jeffrey somewhere was also able to get away from Ha'ayer, and as I say that, Rusty took a pit stop going on to the softs.
Well done by Ha'ayer to defend there. That's what we were talking about last race, that there are 2 lines in the turn 1, and he took it. There's no need to really keep it tight. Though if you do keep it tight, like Ando did, there is a chance at, a cutback on the second half there, turn 2, and Ando tried that, and it didn't quite work out for him. I think he probably should have cut it a little bit tighter, but I think he still thought he had a chance there against Ha'ayer. But well done by Ha'ayer to get 5th place there. Ando into 6th, so he's lost that position to Jeffrey. Jeffrey now sits in 4th place, so Jeffrey really showing pace around here, and some real mettle when it comes to a dogfight. He's free to chase Shred, who's almost 10 seconds up the road. Shred's pace looks like, let's see, 57s. Not bad. We got a 56.9 just a few laps ago. But yeah, early 57s here, so he's not doing too bad. What's Wid doing? More 56s. We just saw a 57.2 in the last lap around. In fact, let me see what he does with this lap as he comes to the line here. Another 56. So that 57.2 was an anomaly there. I think a few people had a bad lap a couple laps ago, maybe some lag spike or something, but Wid doing 56s in comparison to Shred. Ryder is doing 57s. Of course, we saw that 202 again. Ooh, that's going to really slow him down right there, but Wid showing incredible pace out here. He's got the fastest lap with a 156.1. So I think the picture up front is going to continue to change. Jeffrey is not quite at Shred's pace though. Shred doing 57s, Jeffrey's doing 58s, with 159 there in that same spot that we've seen other people with a slow lap. So I think um, I think Shred may be a little bit safe for
Well,
now. Of course, Jeffrey's been in battles.
you're right, but I don't think Jeffrey, Jair, and Ando, and I guess Higher as well. I don't think they're safe from Rusty. Rusty just got past Stig and Alikos, who took an earlier pit stop. Rusty is making some decent time on the set of softs. While he's not lining up the track right now, having to pass these other drivers. I'm surprised Jeffrey, Jair, and Ando did not pit in response to Rusty's pit on lap 12. I think they're
Me
going to be
too.
caught out.
Well, I think sticking to the plan is sticking to the plan, right? Obviously, taking a little bit of a gamble with the undercut there and pitting sooner than other drivers on the softs, and maybe thought he could force, a reaction, but he didn't. So let's see if it pays off. I mean, maybe they'll be caught out, or maybe his tires will be worn, right? We said that this track was kind of medium on tire wear, and to me, it seems like it's been a little bit higher than what I expected. To me,
Yeah, I mean, Rusty is on track for a 56, while Ando, Jair, and Jeffrey are all in the 58s. I wonder who will pit right now.
here
Wade
comes
is in the
Wid.
pits though.
Wid is in the pits. So Wid was pitting right now. Shred stayed out, as did Ryder. So Wid maybe, start doing the middle ground thing. Either this is where he was going to pit already, because we see Ando and a Higher also pitting, or maybe this is sort of him choosing to go ahead and react to Rusty. I don't know. Rusty was running purple, but he didn't get the fastest lap. Oh, he did get it.
Well, he's in
Sorry, I
now.
was just a little bit it was just a little bit late or early. So 55.9. So Wid's going to see that and see, okay, this is the kind of pace that he's getting out of the soft. It's time to get off the medium there. But I think he's just stuck to the plan, right?
I think so too. I think he bets that 3 laps softer softs will help him later in the race. But yeah, I mean, if Rusty overtook Ando in the pits, I think Jeffrey and Jair, even if they pit right now, they're gonna get overtaken in the pits by Rusty, and possibly Ando too.
Possibly, yeah, because they were pretty close. I guess we'll see. I'm hoping those guys will pit in the next couple of laps, because I don't see any reason to stay on the mediums at this point. Those things are slow. They're dead. Like, you got to get off of them. Again, unless it is, the plan is to save them for the last couple of laps here. I didn't get a look at what track temperature is. I mean, it looks sunny out, right? But can't tell if track temp is very hot and therefore tire deg is higher than expected, or what. But it seems like most people have pitted around the laps that you predicted they would.
Yeah. Well, they got on a little bit longer.
Well,
As I say that,
no,
Jeffrey
they've
gets a
gone
little
longer.
bit. Yeah. Ryder's into the pits now, changing off the medium. He's about 3 seconds in front of Shred, if I recall. This is going to be the moment of truth for Jeffrey and Jair. Will they pit right now? They don't. They continue, and I'm very confused by this.
Insane. Shred stays out too. I know. So I was wrong. I said most people pitted around the time that you didn't, and as I said it, I realized no, they didn't. Actually, they are going longer, and some going even longer than expected. So, a few different strategies playing out here. I hope that you're taking note of who pitted when, because I realize I'm not. But I'm curious to know how this all comes to a head in the end of the race. Will those who got on early take an early advantage but then lose out, or will they keep that advantage? And will those who stay on late gain something by having fresher tires at the end of this race? I don't know. Wid trying to fight his way through the worn medium field now. Hot Air not letting him pass. Granted, he's not in a good place to let him pass, but he really doesn't have to either, right? It's to his advantage if he can slow Wid down enough to limit his advantage of being on the soft tire right now. And sure enough, Hot Air trying to squeeze him to the inside there. He's going to defend into Big Banky Boy, and Wid is gonna go ahead and dive into it. He's just got the better tires. Hot Air should have maybe committed to the defense a little bit better. Granted, it would have affected his acceleration up the hill, and he doesn't let it. He is still ahead of Wid at the end of the hill there. So he got the absolute best acceleration he could get up that hill there, and so Wid stays behind him for another couple of corners at least. I think Wid's going to make his way past him, probably in turn one. That is another good opportunity for him. Actually, it's not even waiting. Meanwhile, I see Shred jumped into the pits. Shred is in the pits. Wid looking to go around the outside into the last corner there. And he's going to finally take his third place. Hot Air stays out again. So does Jeffrey. So Jeffrey up in the first place now on worn out mediums. These drivers are doing, he's doing 59s. Hot Air just did a 2-minute lap, and he was doing 258s. He just 158s. He just ended up in a battle there. So they're not. I just don't see the advantage. I mean, we know the softs are worth at least a 56, right? Rusty dropped the 55.9. We know most people are going to do a 56. I mean, you're losing precious seconds every lap. Every
Absolutely.
lap against people who switched.
At this point, there's no reason to not bet. There's, like, you're gonna get to the end with these softs. Like, you're fine. Like, even Rusty, who, you know, pitted the earliest on lap 12, he's still doing fine. He's on track of finishing this race with around 40% tire wear. So I have no idea what, like, the second Hot Air got overtaken by Wid, he should have went in the pits. He should have taken his losses and tried to get the undercut on Jeffrey. But at this point, yeah, no, they're just losing time. They're bleeding time. They're not gaining anything from staying out. So I'm very confused as to if there was a miscommunication, if you know, they just didn't test it properly. But yeah, they should have visited pits by now.
I just don't see it, and it looks like Wid must have made real short work of Jeffrey, because we didn't see that pass, and he's already 1.6 seconds ahead of him. So Wid up in the first place here again, for the first time since pitting a few laps ago. Looks like lap 14 would have been his pit in lap there. So he's already made his way back in the first place. The two drivers directly behind him are on worn mediums and pose absolutely no threat to him. The next driver who does would be Ryder, who's 5.2 seconds back on the racing soft. So even that's not really a battle there. Now, when Jeffrey and there we are. I was gonna say Jeffrey and Hot Air are going to pit. When they pit, where they come out will affect their race, but I don't think it'll have anything to do with Wid.
No.
It'll be Ando. It'll be, who were they fighting? The Truth, maybe? Let's see. Jeffrey comes out. There's a higher place. There's the Truth. A higher place will try his absolute best to stay ahead. Jeffrey doesn't want to let him, but he's on cold tires. He's got to be careful, and that's going to happen if he's not careful. Luckily, he's able to catch that slide, but a higher place is able to keep 7th place there. Jeffrey comes out ahead of the Truth, though. Again, cold tires. This is one of those corners that can be a little treacherous if he's not careful for him. The Truth will be watching. He's got nice, warm racing softs and some weight on the back wheels there to help him out, but Jeffrey will warm those tires up soon, and I don't think the Truth's going to be able to do anything about it. Where's Ando? Ando's in 5th, so Ando's good. Okay. Ando's behind Rusty. Sorry, go ahead.
Let's look at this right now. Jeffrey, who was at the front of the 6-car pack before the pit started, right, is now behind Higher, who was at the end of that 6-car train. He's
After
now
taking
10. Exactly. Now, if you add up all the times between the gaps, Jeffrey is now 10 seconds behind Ando. Look at the time loss that he had to suffer through just because he waited too long on pitting. And Higher got even worse. He's in 11th.
And we've only got 7 laps left in this race. 6.5 laps left, right? Like, I don't think the advantage of having fresher tires at the end is that strong, quite frankly. So yeah, I think he him and Hot Air shot themselves in the foot. Um, he did come out better than Hot Air, who comes out in 11th place, all alone. You know, he's gonna have clean air to run until he runs into Dark and Azrael, or sorry, in the corridor. But will he be able to make a pass? Right? It's not super hard to defend around here.
Nope, and as much as he has fresher tires over Hire's not gonna let him pass easily. He's gonna be fighting every single corner he can to just keep his place. Um, the best I can see Jeffrey to recover to is honestly Sex, and that's taking Hire and Alicuis. Which that's with considering these are final positioning, that's gonna be hard to do.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe these guys will prove us wrong. We'll see. We do have a few laps left in the race. We've seen quite a shuffle around the pit stops. A lot of surprise considering what we thought the strategy would be. But that's part of what's great about this series is that multiple strategies do work, and that we can say what we think drivers will do, but the fact that there is such a disparity between what we plan and or what we've been told by our friends that they're planning to do and what others do is a good sign. It's a good sign of a healthy series with well planned out races.
Yep, I will say this: Stig, the series director, took a long time testing out all these combinations. So he didn't set up these rules willy nilly. He set them with a good plan in mind.
Yes, he did. Looking at the chat, we have say Mabo who says, "Why am I watching this at 4:30 a.m.? It is very interesting though." And you answered your own question. That's why you're watching it 4:30 a.m. It is interesting. I mean, who doesn't love racing early in the morning? Now, are you waking up, or are you supposed to be have gone to bed?
That's always a great question, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Going through the order here, the front is pretty spread out. Wid, Ryder, and Shred are spread out, though I don't know if anyone's really going to threaten Wid, but he does have the oldest tires of the three, and they
Yep.
show. So there I'm gonna watch this gap, this 5.6-second gap here between himself and Ryder. He does seem to be marginally faster, but that might change. Shred just dropped the fastest lap of the race 2 laps to go with a 54.8. He's not playing. Okay, now the lap after is 55.5. That's almost a second slower, but maybe he just made a mistake. But he's probably going to be all over the back of Ryder soon here. It's a 2-second gap. So definitely watching that. We want to see how this podium shapes up. I think you said Wid, Ryder, Shred for your podium, didn't you?
No, I said, well, for the feature, I think I said Wid, Ryder, Hot Air.
Hot Air. Yes, yes. What up, TKs? Does anyone ever threaten Wid? We have seen it. It
We have.
is possible. It has happened. Look at this. A higher place and Jeffrey going at it. There goes that little beetle again. I'm telling you, that beetle is a bandit around like a Machiore. So Jeffrey under attack by the Volkswagen that doesn't actually exist. Meanwhile, a higher place is watching from behind. Like, this has got to be the funniest race to watch. Not higher place, sorry, the truth is watching from behind. Like, this is kind of funny. Watching this little bee sting of a car chase down the giant GTR. I don't know, do you watch like GT3 racing in real life?
I do. On occasion. I
Do
try to
you
get.
remember when the GTR GT3 came out and just how humongous it was on the grid in comparison
It
to everything else?
was. I don't
It
know.
was huge.
That was like the weird like mid-20s or mid-2010s with. Do you remember the Bentley too?
The Bentley was also huge, and then I remember put out the M8. They were like, like, we can make the biggest GT3. Like, we've had some monsters in this class, and I love it. I just love that we had cars of all sorts of shapes and sizes in this class. This one will go down in history as one of the best GT racing classes to ever do it. I mean, all good things come to an end eventually, and I think GT3 has had a very long run. I don't know that it'll be ending soon, but it will end one day, and we will remember it fondly because it's given us some incredible cars and incredible racing.
Well, if the FIA has done anything well in recent memory, it's trying to keep the GT3 class alive. And it sucks that Nissan is no longer in it. Audi actually left GT3 racing, I think, 1 year ago. But
Yep.
hopefully one day we'll see those manufacturers return and new manufacturers come in. For example, Ford introduced their new Mustang this year, or officially this year. And hopefully we see other manufacturers to join the fight, join the battle, the chase.
Ooh, Ando with an entire 1 second penalty. That's gonna take him out of this battle with Rusty for sure. I mean, we're on lap 22. He's got to eat a 1 second penalty on the fastest part of the track. I think Rusty's safe. Quite frankly, he's just got to bring it home, and he will take fourth place there. That's bad luck for Ando. But yeah, I do hope we see those manufacturers come back, and I'd love to see some new manufacturers. The Audi LMS, the Audi R8 LMS was actually the first GT3 car I saw in person, and I
Oh,
saw
really?
it at the race I talked about last time, the 25 hours at Thunder Hill. When I tell
Nice.
you that race is insane, what I saw, here's what I saw. Okay, I pull up. It's cold. I put on my jacket. I put on my gloves. I walk over to the fence, and I see a NASCAR truck. It wasn't like the actual pro series, but it was a a stock car oval racing truck, being chased by a spec E30, being chased by a spec Miata, being chased by another stock car, being chased by an outright LMS. And that was my introduction to the 25 hours at Thunder Hill. That race is insane, and it does feel like the Nürburgring 24-hour, but in America, because it's just all kinds of cars, and it's freaking weird. It's weird.
We go quickly over to seventh place. Higher is making the move on Alexis, and now Truth is trying to use the opportunity going up the hill. Alexis is still on the inside, but Truth has the softs going around the outside possibly. He gets run a little bit wide, but not off the track, but he still is in it. He's still in it.
Still in it.
He is
Ooh.
got it. He's got it.
Wow, that was amazing. Way to stick with it for sure. I mean, through all those corners, whether you have the inside, whether you have the outside, sticking to it on the racing softs. These are the moments that Alikos went on the softs first for, in hopes that, by the time cars started catching him up on the mediums, he'd be able to defend. And he was, just unfortunately, Truth just a little bit quicker there. And also, it looks like Corridor now also looking to make a move, but Alikos able to. It keeps skipping people for me. Sorry. Alikos able to maintain that position again, because now the softs are worn out, and Alikos' mediums look a little bit better, a lot better, actually, than a lot of these drivers do on the softs there. So he's going to try to maintain as many positions as he can, but the Truth definitely got in there. That was brilliant. Do we have a replay? No replay on that. That's okay. It happens. We never got to go back to that replay for the first race either. I kind of forgot about it. The big pass by Alikos, actually, and Jeffrey. Let's see. Let's check on Jeffrey in higher place, because they were back and forth for a bit. That's over. That's 3 seconds now. Jeffrey in 6. Higher place is firmly in his battle with the Truth. And so Jeffrey, not quite a podium. I think, to your point, I think the strategy, there was a mistake with the strategy there. The softs are pretty worn out at this point for a lot of drivers, but I think Jeffrey maybe bet too highly on them lasting. I don't think he needed that.
Yeah,
Well,
I think so too.
I mean, he has beat out a higher place now by several seconds, but I think there was a chance that, he was battling with Ando at one point. You know what I mean? Like, he was right up there with Ando and got in front of Ando, actually. So, definitely there was more to gain by sticking to a more traditional strategy, I think.
I agree. Could we quickly go over to seventh place with a higher place? Currently, he's battling
Higher,
hard,
yeah.
trying to stay ahead of Truth. Truth having way fresher tires than Higher. Higher really struggling with understeer. Truth might be able to make one last attempt at a move and try to take seventh.
Yeah, he's got a couple of opportunities. I mean, maybe, right? Like they are coming up, coming through the first few corners here. They're going to hit the first of the downhill sweepers. He's not close enough to make a move here, but if he can get closer and get himself really set up in the S's, he can set himself up to slingshot around higher place into Big Banky Boy, or even make a move into Big Banky Boy. After that, it'll just be the double right hander, and I think the last corner as his chances.
Yeah, let's see. He doesn't get that good of a run out off the Estes, sadly, though.
Hard,
Higher
dirty
does
air.
get. Yep, Higher gets the exit speed that he needs. No chance going into Banky Boy. It's going to be all dependent on the final corner. Can Truth maneuver his mid-engine and try to get him around the outside of one of these corners? Let's see it.
I'm gonna come back to them. I do want to watch Wid cross the line here. He's gonna. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on with my controller here. There's Wid. We just barely missed him there. Ryder will take second place. And then Shred will come into third place. And I'm going to go back to that battle. I just wanted to watch our three podium winners cross the line. Let's get back to higher place versus the Truth Serum. Here they come through the last couple of corners. One more corner to go. I don't think Truth is close enough. I think higher place is going to go ahead and keep seventh place there. In the meantime, fourth was Rusty. Ando came in fifth, and here comes Jeffrey for sixth. Now, here come a higher place. And the Truth with the penalty, he crossed the line in eighth place with a penalty, but I think he's going to get away with it. Alikos in ninth. Did he get away with it? He did. Okay, Alikos will take ninth place. Corridor in 10th. Hot Ayer takes 11th place. Dark and Azrael 12th, and then the Stig will come in. He's 19 seconds back. Our fearless leader, too busy planning and leading and doing all the things to practice. It looks like he hasn't done great in either of the races, and that's okay. Sometimes it's just not your weekend. We know Stig. Stig's a very quick driver, and he gets it done when he needs to. Man, those racing softs were done, weren't they? Sheesh.
They were grinding down. I'm not gonna lie.
They were out of there. Let's have you read through the grid just one more time, please.
I'd be happy to. Our winner for the feature race in the GP of Italy is Wid. Second place is going to be Ryder. Shred is going to be third. Rusty in fourth. And behind him in fifth. Jeffrey in sixth. Higher in seventh. Truth is in eighth. Very quickly, Shred takes the fastest lap with a 54.8. And then going on to the second page, we're gonna see Alikos in ninth, Corridor in 10th, Ha'ayer in 11th, Dark and Israel is in 12th, and Stig is in last place in 13th.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Great race. We saw a lot of changes for position there. Penalties, different strategies playing out. I think we had a great couple of races at Lago Maggiore. Did not disappoint. We didn't expect it to either.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I was, last race obviously was so much fun due to the rain. But this race, proved equally as fun with just how chaotic the combination of the cars and the tracks were. Very interesting strategies to be on display. Feel very sad for Jeffrey because I think he really could have gone fourth. I think he had the pace to outright beat Rusty and Ando. Just he stayed too long on his mediums, and that's just that just caught him out. Sixth place isn't bad, of course, but yeah, I think fourth really was on the cards for him.
I agree. He definitely had the pace. And it's one of like when you see that you are faster than the drivers ahead of you, I think the strategy should be to stay on the same on the same strat as them, right? If you have better pace, stay on the same tires, be on the fresher tires, because you've already got a natural advantage. If you then try to get a different advantage on tires or fuel or whatever, right? You're gambling for literally no reason. Like, you're faster
Yep.
than them. Stay with them. But we learned a lesson today, and perhaps Jeffrey has as well. And in a couple of weeks, maybe we'll see him do even better. Shall
Of course,
we jump into the interview room?
Yep, I say it's a perfect time. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Yep, we'll be back. Hey guys, we're back already. We are in the interview room now with our 3 podium winners from the feature race. With us, we have Ryder, we have Shred, and we have Wid. We're going to start the festivities off with our 3rd place driver, Shred. Shred, you had a race early on. You know, you started this thing behind Wid because of where you finished the sprint race. Congratulations on that win, by the way. That was incredible defending. But early on in this race, you were so aggressive. Like, what was the plan there? Was it really just like not letting Alicos or anyone up front get away? Like, why were you going so hard?
Because it was basically S7R's entire army, and I'm the only one up here. And I knew if I got in front of Wid, I had to get in front of Wid because I'm like, he's got a good medium stint. And he can do better on me in the long run. He's probably running more downforce than me, honestly, because his car looked more stable than mine. I ran like really ridiculously low downforce just to like get any extra speed I could. But yeah, I was just trying to get around Wid and just try to get close to Ryder because I knew Ryder was going to pull away. So I just figured, well, we'll just get through the pack. Well, no, they decide they're going to, try to defend to get Wid in front of me, which I can't blame them for. Yeah, didn't work out. Wid got ahead anyway. But yeah, no, I knew I couldn't let Wid get too far ahead because our pace was very similar. But I couldn't sit behind him because I had like no downforce. So I already had no grip as it was. I couldn't sit behind him. So, but it didn't work anyway.
Well, I mean, it did work for quite a bit. You did get in front of Win, of your own on your own merit. So honestly, we'd love to see somebody have a plan and execute. But yes, Ando came in there, and team orders, a little bit of team play happened there, and you ended up behind Wid. But absolutely nothing. I don't think that's a failure on your part. That was just you were tag teamed. Well done. Congratulations on 3rd place there. Hover, you have any questions for Shred?
Oh yeah. How was the pressure from Wed in the sprint?
Well, okay. You know what? I did not that qualifying lap is probably the greatest qualifying lap I've ever put together. I'm never doing that again. Neither am I doing that neither am I staying that composed during the sprint race ever again. Because good lord, I didn't expect the 49 was like that's the mythical god of laps, so I didn't expect that. And yeah, the defending was fun. That was fun trying to hold them back for what felt like 4 hours.
No,
You
but
managed to
No,
do it
that
somehow.
was good. Yeah, that was good.
of course, you did a great
That was
job.
good. I enjoyed
So
that.
kudos to you, and yeah, congratulations on the sprint and the feature results. You definitely earned it.
Thank you.
Lots and lots of points for Shred there. Ryder, you came in second place. We didn't see much of you last round. I mean, the Nürburgring was tough. It was raining, like just all sorts of things came together there. But Lago Maggiore gave us just as exciting bit of racing, which we expected. Like this track is a lot of fun, but you seem to really shine here versus there. Um, is it just the sunshine? Is it just you like the sun?
I like the sun. I like Italy. So yeah, it's fun. It's a really fun track. It has a lot of few technical parts, a few fast corners, which kind of suit me my driving a little bit, but not enough to catch first place after the little bent I had coming out of a one turn going downhill in the straight. So that was my mistake, and after that, I just couldn't keep up the distance. He was just pulling away. P1 just pulling away just a little more than expected. So I was like, well, that's good enough. I'll just go hold second place and watch out for P3 coming pretty fast, even though he did a fast lap. It was great. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean this definitely helps like kind of solidify where you are in the standings again, right? I mean last round sucked, but ultimately you'll get to drop it. You're sitting in second in the standings right now. You've earned yourself a lot of good points this weekend. I think we can call this a plus. It's good to see you back up top.
For sure, yes. And last round, I mean, the sprint race was just fun. It was I had no issues. I was just keeping the momentum going, even though I was a little slow. But for the feature, I wasn't prepared. I was not prepared at all. So it's just team management. I couldn't. Yeah, that was good. So, but for the sprint race, for the Corolla, my qualifier lap it was just not great. So it put me back, and then I started kind of on the outside. So it kind of gives me the inside of turn one, and then turn two gives me the outside. So I went off. I lost at least four places, but I just kept my head up, and then gained a few spots back to uh, P6, which that was the lucky race. So it puts me somewhere in the front for the feature race. So I was lucky, but I was lucky for that.
Yeah, you did great in that race as well. And you say you had a terrible qualifying lap, but really qualifying between everybody was so close that I don't think anyone had a truly terrible lap.
Yeah.
But you definitely showed out during the race. Congratulations on
Thank you.
both. Yeah. Hover.
Congratulations, Ryder. Very happy to see you convert that P2 start into a P2 finish. Did you just have any recognizing yourself starting in second in the feature race? Did you kind of realize that you had to take that opportunity to try to get as many points, especially against Wid and Shred?
Um, I mean, yes, like I said, it was lucky. But yeah, P2, I was trying to hold P2. I was watching out for P1, the R8. I think if I'm not mistaken, he was in soft, so he was just pulling and pulling. I know had a little pace until he crashed, and then obviously that took me by surprise. So, but yeah, I was.
What I've done so
Uh-oh.
far in it. But if anyone was switching to the Ferrari is basing it just because there's a couple more rain races left, then
Well,
that's not what.
looks like we lost Ryder there. I thought I was still hearing his voice for a second.
What?
He's back
Yeah,
in. I'll
sorry
let you
about
finish
that.
what you were saying. You're fine.
Yeah, so I was just hoping to keep the P1, and then again, that crash got me. But I'm happy that I started in P2. Like I said, it was very lucky. It's just how the sprint races goes as far as a great placement for the feature. I was lucky. That was a lucky race for me.
No, but yeah, I mean, you executed it well, and you got home. You brought home P2. So great job tonight, and I hope this is one of many more podiums for the rest of the season.
We'll see you then.
Wid. I mean, it's good that you never could possibly get tired of talking to me because it feels like almost every round you end up talking to me. So, lucky you there. 2 wins tonight. Sprint. No, sorry, you didn't win the sprint race. I'm so sorry, but 2 podiums tonight. Second place in the sprint, first place at Lago Maggiore, the full circuit. I mean, you're pretty good around here. And you seemed pretty aggressive tonight. I very rarely have to see you be aggressive, but you did a lot of battling tonight. Um, do you like to battle, or do you prefer it when you're kind of like you just get to run away? You've got all the pace.
Do I like to battle? I mean, sort of, but it's just kind of tough. It seems like everyone's got like a different line around this track, so a lot of it's I'm not necessarily trying to battle. It's just I'm not really expecting some people to take certain lines, and nope, there's some argy-bargy. So it's not really on purpose, but it's fun when it all kind of works out and no one gets hurt in the end or put into a wall.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely. Well, I guess that's all we kind of asked. So I'm gonna say yes. Wid likes to battle. But
Sure, yeah. If I say
Wid
no,
is
everyone's
also
going to want to battle me.
right, exactly. You're gonna get challenged. But let's say maybe you're not so much the aggressor all the time. But I will say today, especially in the feature race, when you were just trying to get up the order with Shred, and I think I don't know if maybe your intention was to kind of hopefully work together, but if that was the plan, then eventually you realized, oh no, it's a dogfight because you started getting in there and getting the nose in there and stuff like that. I mean, is that accurate there?
It was, I mean, I was probably a little bit too passive at the beginning, but I, Shred has his driving style, and I had to like once I saw how aggressive he was being, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna really lose out if I don't start being aggressive myself. So when you're stuck in a train like that, you really have to just kind of go for it, or you're gonna get passed by all the people in the train behind you.
Right.
So yeah, you just can't really show much weakness there.
That's true. That's true. You have to fight for every bit of a track real estate that you can have. Yeah. Well, you managed to get through it unscathed. I mean, it looks so sketchy in some moments, but you got through the field. You ended up in first place. Just getting to capitalize off of Ryder's mistake there, and you took it for the win. So, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course. Hover.
Congrats on the win, Wid, and congrats on the P2. I only have one question. What does the bag of shredded cars look like?
The bag of shredded cars?
The back of Shredder's cars.
Oh, the back of Shred's car. Gosh, you know what? That was quite something. I don't remember. It's just I'm just like I just could not pass. I couldn't get a good enough run out of any corner, so it was a little frustrating, but it was a fun race. So I'll take it. It's fine. I'm just kind of sad that I still have yet to win both the sprint and the feature race in one weekend. It's just either one or the other every single weekend.
Well, I think most people will dream of getting one at least. So I feel like one of these rounds you'll eventually get the full on whatchamacallit Grand Slam. There we go.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'll dream of it.
You got 7 more rounds to
Congratulations.
do it.
Thanks.
7 more rounds to make it happen. I think it will happen for you at least once. And as for what Shred's car looks like from the back, I don't even think you would know. You were so close to it the entire time. There's no way you could have seen the entire thing. You probably could give us a really detailed description of like the hatch opening or the T emblem on the back, maybe.
Was it
Anyway.
red or was I just seeing red? I don't know.
Exactly. Thank you guys for joining us. This was a great interview and some great racing by the three of you. We will see you, hopefully all three of you in the next round.
Thank you.
Yep. Congratulations, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. See ya.
Thanks.
See you later. Oh man, good racing there. Okay, let's talk about the next race that we have going on here. We did look briefly at the schedule, but it looks like we're going to be in Spain at Barcelona, at Catalunya. I love this track. Do you like this track?
Nope. This is one of my least favorite tracks.
I really, really enjoy this track. So I hope to see some really good racing here. And I mean, it's a fun place to be, I think, personally. Let's thank one more time Trails End, our sponsor for this season. Trails End is here to help you with any of your construction, home or commercial construction needs. Do check them out online and see what they can do for you. Sector 7 Racing, of course, and Stig Xander specifically for bringing us this brand new championship that seems to be going so well. Hover, thank you for joining me yet again. You are now a permanent fixture. You're supposed to just be like a guest, but we're like, yeah, Hover, where are you? Get in here. Thank you for coming in with me this weekend.
I'm I'm one of those consultants, so you can bypass work labor laws or whatever.
Yes, exactly. There are no benefits. You're just a contractor, and you're not gonna get 40 hours. McNaughty, I know you're not on the mic, but thank you to you as well. McNaughty puts up all the graphics and changes all the screens and brings the live stream to you guys, the viewers. And thank you to the viewers for joining us weekend after weekend and talking in the chat. We really enjoy you. We appreciate you so much. We'll see you all next time.
Yep. Have a nice night, guys.